Good evening, everyone. It is 4:18 in the evening. It's May 1st, and this is actually day 12 here in Thailand. I'm still here in Bangkok. It's 4:18 in the evening because last night I got really sick. A cold, not like food poisoning. No stomach or anything. Just like all throat and lungs. Excuse me. So yeah, I got a cold, and so I decided to just got up this morning for breakfast or whatever, and I was like, yeah, I gotta extend my stay and just stay in bed today, and not do anything, just stay in bed all day. So I've been sleeping this whole time. Yeah. So yeah, this is a sick day, guys. I'm just gonna take this and staple it at the front of tomorrow's video, because I'm not gonna have anything on it today. I'll probably just go out to the 7-Eleven on the corner here. That's another reason I extended the stay. There's was cheaper spots. Yesterday I got the room for $5. Today it was 7. Uh, but I'd rather spend the extra $2 and not have to relocate myself when I'm feeling bad and stuff like that, and just get the rest like I need. And the breakfast was good anyway, so it's worth the extra $3 I would have maybe been paying. I would have saved $3 if I go up the street a ways for a $4 hostel. But I might be cheap, but I'm also not. I got to use my senses when it comes to staying in bed and try and recoup. So yeah, guys, this is just gonna be me giving the update for what I'm doing today. I'm just gonna hit the store, get something to drink, some fluids, non-caffeinated stuff, and stay in bed today. And yeah, that's it. Sorry, guys, but this happens always once in a while, and this especially happens when you're staying in hostels and stuff like this. There's a more of a common. It's more common to actually catch something from someone else. It kind of makes you always hear someone starting to cough over here, and you're like, oh great, I'm probably gonna get that. And if you notice, I'm in a another benefit is I'm in a capsule, so I'm not coughing in someone's face and spreading it to them. So that's a little courtesy on my part by not moving myself over to a $4 hostel and spreading it to anybody else. But yeah, it's common. It's I either got sick from the change in weather here a little bit. I don't see much of a change. It's just rainy. Or I think I probably caught it from one of the Russians at the last hostel. He was coughing a lot, and I think I probably caught it from him. Them Russians always trying to start a Cold War. That's corny. Yeah, he probably had the cold and gave it to me, and yeah. So, but that's fine. So, I coughing in the camera doesn't make make good TV. So, I'm gonna cut it here, and tomorrow we'll get back. We'll get back out there. So, good night, y'all. Good morning, everyone. It is. I feel like a little kid in this chair. It is 6:35. We are on May 2nd, so that puts us at day 13 here in Vietnam, in Thailand. I get my country straight here. So last night I was able to find a spot that's 87 kilometers away. Actually, I was able to find affordable accommodations at a place called Hometown Hostel. It's in a place right past Samut, Sakon. It's in Samut, Songkhram, and I'll put all the lettering down below. But everything else in that area was in the $20 range, and it really does seem like in Thailand, even though I found the food to be cheaper, accommodations, at least around this section up here, that I've been in so far, seems more expensive. So, so far the one that wins the trophy for the cheapest accommodations is Vietnam, because there were actual real hotel rooms under $10 and not just hostels and stuff. This is a hostel for $8, which I think is kind of pricey. I like to look for hostels in the $4 to $5 range, but for $8 I'll take the shower. It's funny because when I was working at the pilot truck stop doing janitorial maintenance type work, working on the gas pumps when they break, but mostly just changing garbages and cleaning showers, constantly cleaning showers, scrubbing toilets, all that fun stuff. Our showers were like, the truckers got them for free because they get one free shower every fill up that they do at every, truck stop that they go to. And what they do is they accumulate up. And if you were to buy one of the showers, though, if you actually paid for it, it was like something like $17. I'm like, whoa, that is crazy. But you get as long as you want. I talked to one of the guys. I said, well, couldn't they just pay for the shower and sleep in there? And he goes, yeah, I guess so. We might knock on the door, but they get as long as they want. There's a hobo trick. So the free showers, these truckers, they just accumulate, and at the end of the month, they kind of just disappear, right? So one thing, if you, as a traveler, vagabond, if you need a shower, you can usually go to the back door because the gas pumps in the back are where the trucks usually fill up. Go back there where they're coming in, whichever door the truckers are coming in, and say, hey, do you got an extra shower you don't want? And within two people, I'll guarantee the only reason they would say no is that they're in a hurry. But within two people, they'll take you over to this little machine. They just put in their number, and it spits out a shower card for them, and then they just hand it to you. There's no, it's not frowned upon by anybody. And I've talked to truckers before, and they say no, we love to give them away, because they just accumulate and then they go away, So if you ever need a free shower, go to a truck stop, and as the truckers coming in, just say, hey, do you got an extra shower you don't need? And within two people, guarantee you'll have a shower, nice hot shower. Okay, with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and since it's 6:30, I'm just waiting on breakfast to be served here at 7, and then I'll be heading out the door. I'm gonna push 87 kilometers, which 80 seems like my new norm. Like 60 was what I was comfortable at in Vietnam, but getting up early, 80 is pretty good. It's a good push, so 87's not a bad goal for the day. So guys, I'm gonna get out there and just start pedaling away. So anyway, guys, it was like $7 for the room, and then you get this free breakfast. So, and it's an all-you-can-eat, really good breakfast. So, you know, the extra that you spend, I don't have to go look for food before anywhere. I can eat a good meal before I hit the road. So, anyway, guys, I'm gonna eat, and then I'm gonna hit the road. So, for you guys that are keeping track, that is spoke number 2 that broke. There's 1. There's 2 now that's zip tied. That'll be something I have to fix here pretty soon. And I'm going to be starting the Strava app right now. And yeah, all right, that's it. Let's get going. Do I pay you? Pay you? Okay. Oh, okay. So the 9 was something I can't get onto with a bicycle or a scooter. So this ferry's here for, looks like 15. Yeah, so I'm gonna take the ferry across, which is 15 is 45 cents. So not bad. And it's supposed to have a good view of the bridge here. Oh, nice clothing shop. It's 12:41 right now, and this is the road I've been on. This is how it's been the whole time. So there hasn't been much to film because, well, it's just this. I saw the big C. I decided to stop at it, see if they had a different selection of food, and picked up a banana and a chocolate milk. Yeah, I made about 74 kilometers already, which is pretty good. I have about 12 kilometers to go before I'm at the actual hostel that I've already pre-booked. So, yeah, that's the plan, is just to get there. And like I said, not much to film because it's just been this kind of, it was hard as heck to get out of Bangkok, I'll tell you that right now. All that, the freeway above, the toll freeway, and then the below is everything below is construction work and all this stuff. And yeah, it was just mad confusion. If you look at the Strava app, I don't know what type of detail you can get out of the Strava app, but you'll see that I go down this way and had to turn around, come back and go this way, because a lot of times it looks like this side road would actually continue and the other road goes up and over, but it doesn't, you know, and it's just like, so I had to turn around, go back and go over the bridge or whatever. And yeah, it's crazy, but it took a while to get out. Now I'm out. So yeah, 12 kilometers, and I would have done my 91 today. So it really does pay off getting up earlier, you know, it really is. And I didn't even leave that like super early. I left around 7:30, so 7:30, 7:45 or something. So anyway, that's the update, just here at the Big C. Downtown hostel. Hello.
You are booking.
Yeah, booking Agoda, I think. Yeah.
Tell me what's your name.
Daniel.
The close midnight.
Okay, midnight.
In the morning, coffee and bread.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Coffee and bread in the morning. Take my shoes off before I go up. Alright, so bed 2, which is I think this one. Yeah, this is home sweet home right here. Whew. Alright guys, I made it. It is, let me give you a time check here in a second. This was the only $8 place, and like I said, the rest of them are up in the 20s. It's 1:58, not bad. I'm sweaty, so I'm gonna take a shower and all that stuff, and then unpack my stuff and get a little more relaxed there. Right. It's hot. So one thing I learned, like, so on Google Maps and stuff like that, sometimes it's really hard to figure out what city you're actually in. It's like the streets, it's hard to find the street names and stuff like this, the freeway. It's a highway, it's a freeway, it's whatever. Same way with the city names. You're not sure if you're looking at a district, and if that district is part of a bigger accumulation of districts, and so unless you've lived here your whole life, you probably, you're gonna have difficulties with it. One way I found out, an easy way to actually find out where I'm at, because I can look at Google Maps and think one thing, like if I was to look at Google Maps right now, where I'm at, right? So I would zoom out a little way, and first thing I would see would be like Samut, Songkhram, Samut, Songkhram. But I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. And then because there's something else that says Mu 9 right above that. And then there's another one right to the right of it that also says Samut, Sakhan, Samut, Songkhram. So an easy way to find out which, I know, butchered the hell out of all those. That's okay, it's not my language. So the easy way to do it is use Google. So just a trick, it's weather in my location.
It's 92 degrees and cloudy in Mae Klong.
I'm in Mae Klong. This is, so now I know. You see, I would have wrote it down wrong. So it's Mae Klong is where I'm at. So if I want to double check, I can take Mae Klong and type Mae Klong into Google Maps, and it should just highlight the area that I'm in. So that's what I didn't learn that long ago. So some of in my earlier videos, I might have been wrong about the city I thought I was in, or the location I thought I was in, but it's something I use now. So future reference. And one other thing, if you ever sleep in hostels, you're going to run into this. You're going to run into that you need to charge your devices like your phone and stuff like this. And usually the outlets are always on the walls, right? At the beds, right? But you're also sharing this with a bunch of people, this room. Thing is if you want to take a shower, and you leave your brand new iPhone plugged into that, right? While you're taking a shower, and this happened to someone I know, this is why I'm telling you the story, is when he came out, the guy that was in there with his backpack must have decided that cell phone was worth a lot more than the $5 that he paid for for the hostel for the night. So he grabbed the phone, took his bag, and bounced. So yeah, don't do that. Your alternative is to do like what I have right here. Most of them have lockers. Not all of them have locks. So bring your own lock, even if it's just a small one, as a deterrent. This is the big battery bank, the 50,000 that I got. It doesn't really need to be that big. I can plug in my devices, and if I need to take a shower, I can lock it up. And it doesn't need to be that big. You can get, hang on a second. This is a 20,000. It's not much bigger. I mean, it's a little bit, but that's a 20,000 is good enough to charge 2 devices at once. You know what I'm saying? And get a few charges out of it. And like I said, I think it almost seems like it's 10,000 per charge. So that means 2 charges. The other one means 5. But I don't know. That just seems like what it is. And since I got a lot of electric devices, I need to charge them up and walk away, especially if I'm transferring the files from the camera over to the phone, or I need to leave this while it's uploading a video. Unfortunately, the lockers work as a Faraday cage. So metal lockers will work as a Faraday cage, so you can't really upload, to YouTube. So I kind of had to sit around and watch it, or try and stash it somewhere where I don't think anybody will find it, which I've done. Luckily, I have one of those phones that are just ugly enough where a person goes, "I ain't worth nothing," So, all right, that's just a little bit of advice, guys. So, yeah, if you're in here, make sure you get like a 20,000 or something minimum, and then lock it up in your locker, and don't just leave it on your bed and charging while you take a shower. Read the room, too. I mean, unfortunately these things happen, but someone's going to be tempted by that $1,000 phone when they only paid $5 for the room. Right. Hey, since I pretty well have this whole hospital to myself, except for the old lady that works here and a younger lady that works there, so I don't know. I'll show you a little of the hostel. So here's the rooms. This is a 2, 4, 6 bed bunk beds. This is very typical. Most times they're between 8 and 10 beds and a little bit bigger room. It just depends on how many beds that you can fit in. This one's made out of metal, which is, it's been welded very well, so there's not a lot of the squeaks and stuff. These are a little far apart. You see this right here? That means, but this is wood. That means sometimes you'll get a little more gaps. If this was metal, they can start making a banging noise when you get into bed. It was like pop, bang. But it looks like this one's made out of wood here, so you probably won't get that. And this one is sliding doors. Wood. Without like a indoor, outdoor type of bathing area. These, I'm assuming, are other rooms. Probably single bedrooms. These are the showers. This is the hot water on demand, if you guys don't know what that is. You don't have like a hot water tank. You just turn that on and it gives you hot water as it's pumping through. And of course you gotta clean and dry your clothes every day. Yeah. And you do that when you're taking a shower. Or you can use the sink, but I do it when I'm taking a shower. Then down here they have a little area right here. I don't know what it is. It's got a nice little map. Just an unused section. And downstairs they have like folk art, like a folk art filling. So it's a really nice little hostel, actually. I mean, like remember I told you hostels have their own feel. This one has like the folk art, beautiful little paintings on the wall, little artistic ones, bricks. And yeah, bikes indoors, and we're right in town pretty well. We have a temple over here, or pagoda, and I don't know what the town's like, but yeah, it's a nice little place. And that's the homestay. I know sometimes I don't show them off because sometimes people have privacy issues, and when I don't keep the privacy issues in the mind, that one English guy was like, "Hey, don't be filming me," you know. I'm like, whatever. But can't worry about that all the time. If they want to huff and puff, it's probably for a reason, you know. They're probably hiding from their wives and kids or something, I don't know, in a foreign land. But yeah, guys, it's not bad. Yeah, that's it. I just want to show off the place. So I decided just to take a little walk down the street here in Mae Klong. I don't know anything about Mae Klong. And instead of riding my bike, I figured there's a 7-Eleven just down the ways here. So I'm going to make the trip. I did 88 kilometers today, about 88 and a half. I forgot to flip on the app. I forgot to flip on the Strava app again, so it might have been a little over. But I caught it within 5 kilometers again. Less than 5 kilometers, so it's never going to be that far off. Yeah, like I said, I'm just going to start editing the video today. When I get back, I'm going to grab something to eat. Then, hello, how are you doing? And see what type of construction they're doing here. They're building up a big old pagoda. Wow, yeah, that's going to be huge when it's done. There's a 7-Eleven right next to the pagoda. That's where I'm heading. Yeah, there's a big work project right there. Nice shops, everything. It's gonna be nice when they're done. I found some really beautiful salads here. Look at that. They're only 40 each. So, so to hell with going to 7-Eleven. I'm just getting so tired of 7-Eleven though. I mean, it's nice and stuff, but 40, you're talking 40, 80, 120. $1.20 for a beautiful looking salad, man. I got 2 of them. And I still might go to 7-Eleven just to get the chicken and rice because that's also a good deal. But the thing is I just got to grow a pair sometimes and hit the street food a little more often. Because you're always going to get a better deal on the street food. And I know that. I just don't like doing the shot in the dark, hoping that I'm not eating like I can't do seafood. It's gross to me. That's the only reason. You know, I mean, it looks good. Trust me, crab legs look good, but with the butter and all that, it's just every time I try it again, my taste has never changed. So I still can't do seafood, and
and I'm not a big fan of pork, but what I don't know doesn't hurt me. Yeah. I mean, if it's in the sauce and I don't notice it, no big deal. It's just, I don't want to buy something and then be grossed out of it like I was with the balut. You know, that can be an embarrassing situation where I wasn't going to eat that. You know what I'm saying? Thank goodness that dog saved my life, or saved me from an embarrassing thing. I was able to fill his belly and avoid biting into a little dead chicken in a shell. But hey, I'm not saying anything against it. It's just that wasn't the culture I was brought up with. Now I know it's a great food. I'm just, you know, it's just not for me. You know. All right, guys. This has got a lot of food vendors, which is nice. Ah, there's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm looking for. A kebab. Hell yeah. Chicken kebab, 40. That's not a bad price. Yeah, I might do that. Okay. Well, I'm gonna get one of those and head back. Yeah, kebabs are actually my go-to food. So, actually, in 40 for I got this crispy chicken. That's not bad. I've seen people trying to sell them for like 60 and stuff. Now, I've seen them down as low as 30 though. So, yeah, that's awesome. That's the crispy one. It's a huge chunk of chicken too. That's good. That's good. No, that's awesome. I don't like too much sauce though on them, because they will load them down with sauce. Cool. Yeah, if you like seafood, or if you like street food, it's awesome. Even the birds are getting in on the action down there. Yeah, so I got it. I got a kebab and 2 salads, but I still got to go to 7-Eleven to get a drink. But not bad. It was 40 for the kebab and 40 each for the salads, for a total of what, 120. Does that come out to $3.60? Something like that. Yeah, $3.60 for a meal. Big meal, like a king. Yeah, so like I said, I got like these salads right here. Look at that. You got everything. You got kidney beans, rice, eggs, some corn. Everything's nice and beautiful. I mean, 40, so that's $1.20 each, you know. And the kebab was only $1.20 for a chicken kebab. So I got 2 salads, and just so you guys didn't think I was going too hippie on you, I made sure to throw in a Coke, something not healthy for you, you know. Yeah, so I'm gonna end it here today, and just gonna start editing everything together, have my food and stuff like that. It's right now it's 4:48. Yeah, it's a good time to start editing. And someone mentioned in the comments that they're in their 20s and stuff like that, and they're thinking about going the same way as traveling and stuff. I'm not sure if you're a vagabond traveler or just traveling in general. And you know, I definitely, you know, I don't regret it personally. No, that doesn't mean there was not hard times. There's a lot of hard times, you know. I almost went into hypothermia several times. A few times ran out of oxygen, just being like during the winters in cars and stuff like that. You know, having like a little, like a flameless little heater going on in a car that's sealed tight, you know, and you run out of oxygen. It even happens in tents with tarps and stuff, where people put too many tarps over their tent and they have like a little buddy heater will shut off usually, right? And you need that ventilation, but they'll have something else in there, you know. and they end up, you can suffocate yourself. And you don't notice it. You really don't, because it's so cold outside. You're breathing in cold air. It feels like fresh oxygen every single time. And then you just start getting tired and you can go to bed and not wake up. So the cold is one of my things I hate the worst. Is give me heat over cold any day, because I've been in nights where I just prayed for the sun to come up. Like I remember sitting in the graveyard, just kind of like rocking back and forth, trying to stay warm, and just seeing that, where the light's coming up and the sun's coming over the horizon, and it's just like, come on, why are you taking so long? And then it just appears, and once those beams of rays just hit you, your body more or less just collapses backwards. Now you're in the warmth of the sun. And that starts a very dangerous cycle, because now you're sleeping through the time, you stayed up all night shivering and cold and just wishing that, the sun will come up. And when it does, you fall asleep in its warm rays, and you end up sleeping until the sun's going down again. And you're in a cycle where you're staying up at night. You should have been during the day preparing and getting ready for that night. You should not repeat the same cycle and be in the same thing the following night. But it's very hard not to do that, because you want to fall. You're tired and stuff like this. These bad times happen. They happen a lot. I think the misunderstanding is sometimes people look at someone that's homeless and it's like, oh, those lazy bums. I've heard it many times. Get a job or something like that, right? You hear that. But the thing is, it's harder to be homeless than it is to work a job. A job, you just go to the job, you work, you go home, you pay bills. Everything's provided for you. The food at the grocery store. All you have to do is do your assigned duties for the day, And being homeless is different. Yeah, you become your own boss. You don't do the clock in on the 9 to 5 and stuff. But if winter's coming, you're preparing for winter. And if you do pull winter, normally you would do what's called snowbirding. And anybody that lives in Arizona knows what a snowbird is. They're the Washington plates and stuff like this, where the older people, live up in Washington State, but during the summers and stuff, but they also have a house in Arizona for the winters, and they just go back and forth. Very common in Arizona, or at least used to be. Travelers do the same thing. Vagabonds do the same thing. You're up north more during the summers and stuff like that. And then when winter comes, you're down in the Texas area and stuff like that. Arizona, Texas, stuff like that. You're in the lower states. And if you're smart, do what I did. Go to Hawaii for like a year and just hang out on the beaches, And it's kind of dangerous in Hawaii to be homeless, so. Unless you know someone. So yeah, it's a beautiful lifestyle, but while you're learning and stuff like this, it can be dangerous. It's because you don't have the know-how sometimes at first and stuff, and you make the stupid mistakes that we all make. When I was living in a tent, little sidetrack, living in a tent in Tennessee, right, and I just started living in there. It was like the first year of being in the tent, and that 4-year period of being in Tennessee. A kid on YouTube picked up his camera as soon as he became homeless. I guess he became homeless because he had a medical condition. He used to work construction and stuff like this, and he had a medical condition that they just couldn't, keep him on anymore. So, you know how it is. Everybody's only 2 paychecks away from being homeless themselves, and that's how it is. And the smartest thing he ever did was he picked up the camera and just started filming himself, on his phone, and just posting it on YouTube. And I remember watching him going, man, I remember going through the same thing, the same problems with weirdos and stuff. It seems like as soon as when you first become a homeless vagabond or whatever, the weirdos come out of the woodwork, you know what I'm saying? And you have to deal with all these people for the very first time, which when you're living indoors and working and stuff, you didn't associate with these people. You never had that run-in. But you do in the homeless world. And I remember watching him going through the same problems. I'm like, I remember when I had that same thing, or those were the same worries, or, you know, and he's making the same mistakes, like being right in town, you know, or trying to use the toilet at the gas station instead of just digging a hole and burying it, you know what I'm saying? And eventually you learn to move farther out. But it was funny watching his progress. And if you're wondering who I'm talking about, it's a channel called Extra Cheesy Broccoli. And he changed the name a few times since he started. But he actually has now got his own little home. You know, he's got his home, he just got a puppy and all this stuff. So he worked his way out of being homeless. He never wanted to really be homeless. He was a person that was thrown into the situation and dealt with it and became very knowledgeable too. You know, watching the bushcrafting videos and critiquing them, you know, he used to, and you'd always hear him say, you know, homeless survival tip number 88, and he had a bunch of shorts. But yeah, good for him, he's got a house now and stuff like this. But yeah, it's those problems are common when you first get in there, and it ain't easy. So when I put in a recommendation and I say, hey, I don't regret it, I don't regret the package. I regret some of them days that I had to, and it is hard, and it's not easy. It's not easy being homeless, and you're constantly working, either getting water, or you know, you're constantly trying to make money, get water, improve your camp so you don't freeze to death if you're doing a winter somewhere. You know, I've done winters at the base of Donner's Pass in Colfax, you know, out by Truckee, you know, in California and stuff. And that was cold, wet, and miserable, yeah. But anyway, I just want to throw on one last ramble there. If you are thinking and you're in your 20s, the best advice I'd first say is make sure your relationship with your parents and your brothers and sisters and all these people are like spot on, like you know, be like this before you leave, because they're the only thing you're going to really have in this life. People come and go, and being a vagabond is a very, very lonely life, but family will always be there as long as you guys are, and you're going to rely on them. So if you're just doing this for the better parts of the winter or better parts of the summer and spring and stuff, and you need to move back indoors and stuff for like and get a job or something during the winters, you're going to rely on your parents to at least come back and sleep on the couch for 2 weeks while you try and figure out something better, right? They're always going to be there, and you need that relationship to actually be a really, you know, you need that relationship, especially when you're younger. You know, unfortunately mine fell apart when I got older, but I've always maintained a really good relationship with my family and my brothers and sisters. Me and my brother used to a lot, you know, he's my younger brother, and I think it was from sharing the same bedroom for our whole lives, and yeah, we got under each other's skin. But I love my brother, I love my sisters and stuff like this. But yeah, make sure you do that before you leave. Make sure your relationships with your parents are really good, because you're gonna need them when you come back and you want to reestablish yourself in the work world and stuff like that. Yeah, other than that, never take financial or life advice from a homeless person. What are you doing listening to me? No, that's just a passing joke. Anyway, guys, yeah, that's just a small little ramble before I turn it off and start doing the editing. And yeah, hey guys, I'm just gonna keep going, moving forward. I will take some breaks in some towns somewhere along the way. Like I said, I did 90, I'm way over. But I have a lot of time, and it feels a lot better because I know I can kick up my feet in any town I want and stay 2-3 days if I want. And all right, guys, I'm gonna say goodnight, y'all, and we'll pick this up tomorrow. All right.